Why would anyone participate in the Dakar rally? Sometimes I ask myself that when I'm out there.
Dakar is the ultimate test of human endurance. Everything is meant to be a challenge.
La course off-road, la plus complète, la plus difficile.
Don't think you're ready for it, because no matter how ready you are, you're not ready for it.
Anybody that shows up to this race is not mentally okay.
¿Estás todo el rato como en una montaña rusa de emociones?
The Dakar honestly is a love-hate relationship, you know. Le Dakar, il m'a aimé. Parfois, il m'a aimé un peu moins.
Il y a des milliers de gens qui rêvent de le faire. Quand tu te retrouves sur ta moto et que tu pars, c'est une sensation qui est incroyable.
The freedom you feel in the desert without knowing what's coming next. The dreams when you get to open a stage and there's no one else out there.
I feel with the plane in the sky.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain.
Without any mark, without any route, you know.
C'est toi, ta moto, ton choix de navigation, tes erreurs, tes doutes, ce physique, ce goût du sang dans la bouche.
C'est cette folie-là, c'est ce danger extrême qui t'amène une dose d'adrénaline qui est folle.
It's all I think about, it's all I want to do.
To be honest, it just became an obsession.
I don't know what I would do without it.
For me, Dakar is everything in my life.
Tellement de moments où je l'aime, ce sport, j'aime cette discipline, cette folie, cette folie. More love than hate, but it is still love and hate.
Hello and welcome to this official presentation of the Dakar 2025, a Dakar that will take place in Saudi Arabia, the fruit of an unfailing collaboration with the Minister of Sport, His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz, and of course the Saudi Motorsport Company and Saudi Moto and Automobile Federation, headed by His Royal Highness Prince Khalid. A rally organised with the FIA led by Mohammed Ben Sulayem and the FIM of President Jorge Viegas. We experienced some great emotions in 2024 that are still fresh in our minds. We had to wait until the final moments to see Ricky Brabec triumph in the bike category, Manuel Andujar on his quad, Carlos Sainz in the cars, Cristina Gutierrez in the challenger class, Xavier de Soutre in the SSVs, and Martin Macic in the truck category. We won't forget Carlos Santaolalia's triumph in classic and the first turn of wheels of the Dakar Future Mission 1000 Pioneers. We've offered you some new experiences such as the 48-hour chrono, which we'll be repeating again this year. We'll be in Saudi Arabia, an immense country that offers us endless and completely new routes. But before going into the details of the stages, the lineup and the new features, let's take a look at the route of this Dakar 2025. Hello everyone. So here it is, the 2025 course. A route that will allow all competitors, amateurs and professionals in all categories to express themselves and enjoy themselves. The Dakar will start from the town of Bisha in the southwest of the country. And as for the last 2 years, we'll have a magnificent start camp, as we've done for the last 2 years, and which has seduced you in the purest Dakar spirit. Saudi Arabia has been hosting us since 2020. This will be the 6th edition in this magnificent country, which offers the Dakar so many possibilities and, above all, breathtaking landscapes. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our Saudi friends with whom we work throughout the year. Thank you to them, and thank you to Prince Khalid Sultan Abdullah Al Faisal, who heads the Saudi Arabia Motor Federation, an essential element in the success of the Dakar, which never ceases to promote the discipline. And this year, there's a novelty, the will to push a new generation of Saudi drivers to come and take part in the great adventure.
I can't believe now we're preparing for the 6th edition of Dakar in Saudi Arabia. We're going to start from a new location. We always want to add something new, to add a new flavor for all the drivers and the riders and the people who follow Dakar in Saudi Arabia, to see new scenery, to see the top drivers and pilots having strong competition with each other. The thing that we are really happy about is every year the feedback of the drivers and the pilots. Everybody comes, they leave, and they are excited to come back to Saudi Arabia and to discover new terrains. This is something that we are blessed with. We are honored, and we work very closely to deliver a top-notch event. All the world saw how beautiful the country is. You can see it in the eyes of the people, and they speak about the terrain, the rocks, the formation, the dunes. So you can see it's like magic for them. We want to make Saudi Arabia a base for motorsports and for rallies. We are now working very closely with the Ministry of Sport and with the ASO and other partners to open academies. In Saudi Arabia, there's a lot of interest, and there's a lot of things happening and going on in Saudi Arabia. So now we want to prepare the next generation. We have Yazid, but we have more than one Yazid al-Rashidi. We have more than one Dani Adil. We want to focus and invest in the grassroots. The drivers that they want to improve themselves, they will have the opportunity. As I said, we became a hub for motorsport, and also we want to become a hub for training as well.
And talking about training, the Dakar launches its first academy, the Saudi Next Gen. The Saudi Next Gen is about wanting to train and introduce the Saudis to rally raid. So we have selected 5 Saudi navigators and 5 drivers from completely different disciplines, karting, drifting, rallying or traditional rallying, to introduce them to the discipline and above all to take them to the Dakar in the long term. So we're going to create a challenge involving 2 days of training, 3 days of driving in the deserts in SSVs, and then we're going to select a driver who will take part in next year's Rallye du Maroc and Dakar Rally, so that they can express themselves and discover what rally raid racing is all about. And here's a look at how the Saudi Next Gen 2025 works.
Are you a Saudi driver?
You are between 18 and 30 years old.
Is participating in the Dakar your dream?
The Dakar Saudi Next Gen program is for you.
Are you ready to accelerate your racing dreams? For the first edition of the Dakar Saudi Next Gen program, applications are open from November to December. If you're from Saudi Arabia and aged between 18 and 30 years old, hold a driving license, and have some racing experience, you could be one of 5 drivers chosen for an exclusive 5-day Dakar Real experience. From December 30th to January 5th, you'll face Dakar conditions with top experts coaching you. Theory training, practical testing, and 3 Dakar stages. Receive guidance from Dakar ambassadors Yazid Al-Raji, Dania Akil, and Yassir Saidan. At the end, one crew will win entry in preparation for Dakar 2026. Don't miss your chance. Apply now for the Dakar Saudi Next Gen program and gear up for your dream future in racing.
Now it's time to take a closer look at the 2025 route. Following the disembarkation of the boats in Jeddah, everyone will head to Bisha. In Bisha, we'll have the scrutineering on January the 1st and 2nd, and then on January the 3rd, we'll have a prologue, which will determine the starting order for stage 1. An important prologue, a highly technical one, 29 kilometers, very varied. Then it's on to stage 1. We start with over 400 kilometers. A very varied stage, big fast wadis, technical sections, gravel. We're going to find all the ingredients except sand for the first stage to launch this Dakar. Then it's on to stage 2 and the famous 48-hour chrono stage. But before I tell you all about it, I'd like to take you back to the best moments from the previous edition of the famous 48-hour chrono.
So I think today and tomorrow, this chrono stage, I think it's just going to be like a survival.
Yeah, we can ride until 4 o'clock.
First day of chrono. It's fun. We're all going to camp and maybe we'll go sit around the campfire until 8 o'clock tonight or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
I lose in the desert. And I'm very, very, very tired now.
I guess we could just get one tent and sleeping bag. Yeah, I'm looking forward for the military ration because now I'm really hungry.
Interesting night here in the desert. We slept in the middle of nowhere, pretty much. Hanging out with the boys, camping. The night we make a fire, hang out, laugh a lot. Had to cook some rations that they gave us, so yeah, it was very different for sure. I had fun, and now we have the second part of the chrono stage.
Time to hit the road, just after sunrise.
I think it's Dakar. I don't really know what I expect because it's my first Dakar, but at the same time, I expect the unexpected here because I really, I think for me and everyone else, it's the unknown ahead. It's always unknown.
The 48-hour chrono that you just saw has obviously been updated for this edition, but it's coming straight away on stage 2. So we'll be setting off at 960 kilometers of a special stage on 2 days, as you'll have guessed, with the famous rest stop in the middle, where you'll have 6 bivouacs, depending on where you are, which will stop you at around 4:30, 5 or 6. And there you'll have your ration, your duvet, your little mattress and your tent, which will provide you for sleep. So we're back on the same principle, and it's still going to be a very difficult stage. We're no longer in the empty quarter as you knew it, but there are a lot of dunes, smaller dunes, intertwined. Don't be fooled by appearances. We're not in the empty quarter, but there still will be a lot of sand and dunes. It'll be a real challenge for you all. When everyone returns, so after 2 days, we'll set off again from Bisha to head back up. Stage 3, I'd say, is a transition stage. There are still 500 kilometers of special to cover. On the whole, it's fairly easy going. Quite a technical start, but after that, it's straightforward. So that'll allow us to get back up north quickly. Then it's stage 4, And I'll follow it up with stage 5 because we're coming up to the marathon stage of this Dakar. It's a rather interesting stage because you'll see that the finish of stage 4 will be directly at a marathon bivouac, so no liaison. And we'll set off again from that bivouac the next day for stage 5. There'll be no liaison at all, and we'll be completely self-sufficient with 1 hour 30 of mechanical work for the bikes and all night with the trucks for the cars. So the content of these special stages, from the start of stage 4 it's pretty rocky, it's very technical, and then we'll get into the sand and arrive in the fabulous Alula canyons that we all know, magnificent. We'll have a completely natural bivouac. When we leave the bivouac, stage 5 will start very quickly, then become a little more complicated, sandier, more technical, and finish on tracks, canyons, something else again, more stony. So it will be a very complete stage that will take us to Heil for the rest day. An opportunity to see the progress of the pioneers of Dakar Future Mission 1000. These are vehicles from different categories that come to test themselves with clean energies. We're talking hydrogen, electric or hybrids. These vehicles will have to cover around 100 kilometers each day over 10 stages, and that's where the Mission 1000 comes from. And they're going to do it in extreme conditions, whether it's sand, stones, fast tracks or slow tracks. It's 100 kilometers a day, which represents a real open-air laboratory to prepare the mobility of tomorrow's Dakar. In 2024, we had competitors who came to test these technologies, who are coming back to refine their research, and they will be accompanied by new projects on this edition. Let's discover them now.
Queremos demostrar al mundo que se pueden continuar haciendo carreras de una manera más sostenible.
Working for the future is very important to our future people who are coming back on the second year, but also we have new people again.
欢迎光临 NIBE 的 Segway 公司，来探索我们的 Segway 电动越野车 X1000。
Discover our truck, which is still running on hydrogen this year.
This is X2. Come on, discover.
For us, it's a big experience. We think the hydrogen is the future.
To have an engine who is working with water, it's a dream.
Para nosotros fue una experiencia inolvidable. Ganamos la categoría.
Hemos aprendido mucho el año pasado.
It was really a good opportunity to test the technology.
For sure, we are still improving the product and making the project better.
他们对于参加达喀尔拉力赛这个事情表示非常的兴奋和激动，同时也感觉到非常大的压力。
Es una aventura a los que tendrían que acceder todos los automóviles del Dakar poco a poco y fijarnos como meta el año 2030.
And now we're going to talk about this second week of the Dakar. It's a second week with a lot of kilometers that shouldn't be underestimated. Right from the start with stage 6, which will take us to Douadimi. It's a long stage with two very distinct sections. The first part is rocky and very technical, and the second is all sand and dunes. Very complete, but long. Then we'll be in Al Douadimi, where we'll do a loop for stage 7. And this loop has separate routes. After the 48-hour chrono, this will be the second time that we've separated the stages. The cars and trucks will start on one side and the bikes on the other. And we're starting at the same time. This means that you, the cars and trucks, will have more time during the day to finish your stage. On the other hand, you'll obviously have to do navigation. And for the bikers, you'll have a route that's just for you, with no cars overtaking you. So it's also safer for all the competitors. So this stage 7, you have to be careful. It's 500 kilometers long. It's not easy. Extremely complete. It's one of my favorites, with sand, fast sections, technical sections, and navigation. All the ingredients on this stage. And on to stage 8, we'll repeat the experience. In other words, we'll be splitting the route again between Al Douadimi and Riyadh, another 500 kilometers. These 3 stages after the rest day will be a real highlight of this edition. From Riyadh, the capital, we'll head back to Harad. It's a simpler, easier stage, fewer kilometers, around 350 kilometers. So there's a bit of a transition. Let's say we'll take a short break before setting off for the empty quarter. Then we'll set off for stage 10. We'll be doing Harad Shubaita. This is the famous descent into the empty quarter, a very long liaison in the morning, which only gives us the chance to do a 110-kilometer special in the dunes. But first of all, the special isn't easy. For you, it will be the run-in, the rehearsal for the famous big stage that awaits you, stage 11. Stage 11 will loop around Shubaita. Here you'll face 350 kilometers of dunes that you're starting to know well, and you'll need to stay focused and well prepared because the rankings could change. Anything is possible in this stage. It will be the decisive moment of the Dakar 2025 right before the finish. Then we get to the final stage, stage 12 of the Dakar. This stage will bring us back to the tradition of the Lac Rose in Senegal, as we will have a mass start for cars, motorcycles and trucks, launching them into the dunes. A short special that will take us directly to the bivouac. It is in the heart of the desert, in the empty quarter, that we will celebrate the heroes of Dakar 2025. We will truly be in the spirit of the Dakar, in a circus of dunes, disconnected from the world. The philosophy we wanted for this Dakar, as you've gathered, is that it's a tough Dakar. You praised it last year. We've raised the level even higher. We've maintained that level of difficulty with a lot of kilometers and technical, fast sections. There's everything, dunes, but be ready. This is a real Dakar, a true adventure in the full spirit of the Dakar. And this spirit of Dakar can also be found in the other categories, especially Dakar Classic. The Dakar Classic features vehicles from before 2005 that will compete in a regularity event. They come with these vehicles and will race through all the stages of the Dakar using the same bivouacs as the main Dakar competitors. The routes will be completely adapted, and let's see these dream vehicles in action.
We want to continue to race.
Well, in a word, amazing, right? So this is a child dream coming true.
Ah là, ça tape, hein. Accélère.
Tune section and we already stopped, so not going so good. But yeah, we'll get out. We'll get out.
We were quite happy till now. We were quite happy that we are going nice and without problems. Well, it's Dakar.
When you come to a different country, you need to ask locals.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you very much.
Et là, ça, c'est l'esprit Dakar. Ouais, là, on la ressent vachement.
After the routes, let's move to the field of competitors, a field that is constantly evolving and provides the opportunity for amateurs to share this adventure with the biggest names of the discipline. Let's start with the bike category.
In the bikes, Ricky Brabeck is hunting a third crown, but we haven't had a back-to-back winner since Mark Comer in 2014 and 15. The American's biggest competition could come from within his own Honda team, where he's joined by Adrian Van Beveren, Pablo Quintanilla, Skylar Howes and the promising Tosha Shurena. KTM are determined to get back on top with two-time winner Kevin Benavides, joined by his brother Luciano and Daniel Sanders. Hero also boast a strong lineup with Ross Branch, the new World Rally Raid champion, Sebastian Buller and marquee signing Nacho Cornejo. Sherco will also look to be part of the scrap with Lorenzo Santolino and Rui Gonçalves, and Covey are going from strength to strength with Niels Terek and Mason Klein on their factory team. Privateer Stefan Zvitko is targeting another top 10 almost a decade after coming second. And Bradley Cox, winner of the Rally 2 World Cup, is stepping up to Rally GP. Indeed, there are plenty of Rally 2 riders who could spring a surprise, including the defending champion Harriet Noah. Keep an eye out too for Conrad Dabrowski, Michael Doherty, Tony Mulets, Romain Dumontier, Jérémy Miroir and the up-and-coming Edgar Canet.
Now let's move on to the original bimodule category. But before we talk about it, let's take a look at the highlights from the past years.
It's adventure. It's like back in the 90s, you have nothing. You have no support, no nothing.
Le motard est fragile, le motard est exposé et le motard il doit se débrouiller tout seul. Donc il est seul à prendre les décisions, il est seul à naviguer, il est seul à réparer sa mécanique.
I enjoy working on the bike. It's a little bit of therapy.
No, you take the hardest race in the world and you make it harder.
Pour moi, la chose la plus formidable, c'est le concurrent à l'arrivée qui a les yeux qui brillent et qui est tellement content d'être arrivé parce qu'il sait qu'il l'a fait.
Things are evolving in the original bimodule category. First of all, it is open to all competitors. They will face greater challenges since there will have less assistance available. For example, they will have to manage tyre changes on their own, the number of wheels will be limited, as well as the access to parts. It will be a bit more difficult for them. They will need to manage their machines, their efforts to finish without penalties, a new challenge for these Dakar adventurers. The arrival of the SSV in the Challenger categories over the past 4 or 5 years has allowed young talents to evolve, learn, discover the discipline, and more importantly, gain access to the premier category, Ultimate. The ambition remains to help develop drivers on this adventure in collaboration with the FIA. For many, it started in SSV before moving to Challenger and even shining now in Ultimate. The perfect example is the Red Bull Off-Road Junior team, which has seen competitors like Seth Quintero, Cristina Gutierrez and Mish Guthrie progress through the ranks to now compete for victory in Ultimate. This also includes talents like Guillaume de Mévius, Pau Navarro and João Ferreira. Let's start with an overview of the SSV category.
Xavier de Sultre is back to defend his SSV title with the Sebastian Loeb racing team in a very competitive Polaris. He'll be joined by Dakar debutant Brock Hager. Last year's top rookie Sarah Price has joined the official Can-Am setup after an impressive 4th place in 2024. The team also boasts 3-time winner Chaleco Lopez, while American star Hunter Miller is making his debut also in a Can-Am. In the MMP team, Jérôme de Sadelier is looking to go one better than his 2nd place last year. Gerard Fares has also come close in the past. He joins the Pedrega team in his bid for a first Bedouin trophy. Sebastian Guayasamín is also a contender after he came 2nd in the World Championship this season. And finally, the SSV class also welcomes a former quad star in Manuel Andújar. Last year's winner has teamed up with South Racing.
After the SSVs, we move up a level to the Challengers. Let's take a look at the favourites for the title in this Dakar.
In the Challenger class for prototype SSVs, things are looking more open than ever. With last year's top 3 all joining the Ultimates, the winner could well come from the BBR team. They have Nicolas Cavigliasso, second in last year's World Championship, and Yassir Sayadan, who conquered the W2RC in the SSV class. His fellow Saudi, Dania Akil, is also making constant progress in her Taurus. In terms of vehicles, there's a newcomer in the Apache, a hybrid energy prototype. It will be driven and tested by former French biker Antoine Mayo. Like every year, the Red Bull Off-Road Junior team is hoping to unearth the rally raid stars of the future, so do keep a close eye on the American Corbin Leverton and Portugal's Gonçalo Guerreiro. Saudi Arabia's Salah Al Saif is also a dark horse after 2 sixth places, and the category welcomes a former quad champion in Alexandre Giroux, who joins the G Rally team.
And now let's move up to the premier category of Dakar 2025, the Ultimate Cars, featuring 4 factory brands at the start competing for victory.
The Ultimate field is absolutely stacked with Dakar legends and young pretenders. The defending champion, 4-time winner Carlos Sainz, joins Ford M Sport in their all-new Raptor. He is joined by fellow Dakar winner Nani Roma, as well as Swedish star Matthias Ekstrom and Mitch Guthrie, who steps up from the challengers. The Dacia Sand Riders are the other new players in town and boast a mouth-watering lineup with the 5-time winner Nasser Al-Attiyah, Sebastian Loeb, who's had 5 podiums but wants that first victory, and Cristina Gutierrez, who won the Challengers class last year. Overdrive Racing are once again putting their faith in Saudi hero Yazid Al-Raji, who led the rally for several days last year. He is joined by a couple of former bikers, Toby Price and Sam Sunderland. They boast 4 Dakar titles between them. Also Rokas Bachuska, a 3-time world champion in SSV and Challenger. Toyota Gazoo Racing will be counting on Lucas Moraes, who came 3rd in 2023, and American young gun Seth Quintero. The ever-consistent Janelle de Villiers won in 2009, while Guy Botterill was last year's top rookie, and Henk Lattigan makes his comeback. X-Raid have a new petrol-powered Mini and some high-profile recruits. Guillaume de Mevius and Gerdan Shisheri, respectively 2nd and 4th last year, and Joao Ferreira, who also moves up to the Ultimates. Watch out for Martin Prokop, always a danger in his prototype Ford, and Mattia Serradori in the new Century CR7. MD Rally will also be eyeing up the top 10 with drivers like Christian Ovier and Eugenio Amos. And in the stock class, Toyota are back with the title holder Akira Miura before the arrival of new manufacturers in 2026.
And now we will move to an even higher dimension with the giants of the Dakar, the trucks. Let's take a look at the lineup.
In the trucks, Martin Maciek finally landed his first title last year, and the Czech driver is the favourite again in 2025. He'll face stiff competition from his compatriot Aleš Lowprice, who's joined the De Roy team. And also a host of talented Dutchmen, including Mitchell van den Brink, 3rd in 2024, and his father Martin, 3rd in 2023. Maciek also has a new teammate in Case Colan. Watch out for Martin Scholtis in his Tatra Bagheera and former car driver Vaidotas Zala, who has joined De Roy. Terahito Sugawara is also a model of consistency in his Hino.
Dakar 2025 will also mark the opening of the W2RC World Championship. This will be the 4th edition of this FIA and FIM championship, which saw Nasser Al-Attiyah and Ross Branch triumph in 2024. For 2025, the championship will once again head to the United Arab Emirates for the Abu Dhabi Desert Challenge in February. Then the vehicles and competitors will head to South Africa for a new event, the South Africa Safari Rally. Following the Safari Rally, the championship will return to Europe for the BP Ultimate Rally Raid in Portugal and Spain. And as usual, the season will conclude in Morocco mid-October. Before we conclude, I would like to extend my thanks to Saudi Arabia and the SAM, along with its president, Prince Khalid. Saudi Arabia is a country that has welcomed us wonderfully since 2020, offering us landscapes and terrains like nowhere else, along with breathtaking scenery. So there will be extraordinary landscapes again in this 2025 edition that we have prepared. I would also like to thank the Dakar partners, the new partners joining us this year, as well as the loyal ones who have been with us for several years, enabling us to organize this Dakar. Dakar 2025 is now truly underway. You have the route, the distances and the dates. I look forward to seeing you on January the 3rd for the launch of the prologue, and in the meantime, let's keep dreaming.
Le départ a lieu du Trocadéro petit matin, mais avant de partir au pied de la Tour Eiffel, il y a un instant privilégié, comme une incantation, une prière. Chacun semblait se dire « et si j'allais gagner ?»
I say I am here because of the people around. It makes me younger. It makes me happy. It makes me feeling at home.
Do the Dakar, that means that you have overcame any challenge thrown in your direction. You conquered something that is the toughest thing you could do in an off-road vehicle.
J'ai tellement d'efforts puis de sacrifices, j'ai rien oublié. Chaque seconde, chaque heure, j'ai rien oublié. Ah, allez, je t'aime.
Si je dis que je le refais un jour, arrêtez-moi tout de suite.